Welcome back, Focus Learners. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me for this explainer today. We are unpacking a topic that is literally the lifeblood of any growing modern enterprise, and that is IT infrastructure. Specifically, we're going to break down all about Pragya IT Consultancy solutions. We're going to look at their operations, their methodology, and exactly how this end-to-end enterprise IT partner merges the often chaotic world of procurement with absolute engineering precision to create IT environments that actually work.
Okay, let's dive into this, because this right here, this is the universal headache of modern IT scaling. If you're an IT manager, an operations lead, or a CIO at a growing company, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're trying to expand an office or upgrade your tech stack, and suddenly, your highly skilled team is spending hours on the phone. You're dealing with one vendor for hardware, a completely different one for networking, and a local installer who just doesn't show up on time. And what do you get from all that? Mismatched specifications, totally fragmented accountability, and delayed deliveries. It's a massive, massive drain on your resources.
So how do we fix it? Well, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll clearly define the infrastructure dilemma. Second, we'll introduce Pragya's unique dual-discipline approach. Third, we'll look at how they build the physical backbone of an office. Fourth, we'll shift into their scaling strategy and security services. And finally, we'll wrap up with what makes the Pragya advantage so incredibly effective for mid-market companies.
Part 1. The Infrastructure Dilemma, the headache of modern scaling.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real problem, right? Picture yourself as the hero of your company's growth story. Your business is moving fast, but scaling feels like you're just battling chaos every single day. The costly old way of doing things, juggling hardware OEMs and local installers, inevitably leads to fragmented accountability. When the network goes down, the hardware guy blames the networking guy, and literally nobody takes responsibility. But the structured solution? It's establishing a single point of contact. By centralizing end-to-end procurement, you get standardized assets, real cost savings through bulk negotiation, and vastly faster deployment.
Which brings us to Section 2. Enter Pragya IT Consultancy. 2 disciplines, 1 accountable partner.
This is where that seasoned guide steps in to handle both IT hardware and networking supply entirely under one roof. Their core tagline is, "Where procurement meets precision." And honestly, this is absolutely crucial. Pragya is not just some consumer electronics retailer pushing boxes out the door. And they certainly aren't pushing flashy AI startup fluff. They are a true end-to-end enterprise IT infrastructure partner. When they say precision, they mean tangible, methodical engineering excellence. They take complete accountability for sourcing, designing, deploying, and supporting your entire IT environment.
Which leads us to this really powerful statement right from their platform. Infrastructure your business can rely on. Why does this matter so much? Because mid-market companies simply cannot afford downtime. When your infrastructure is a patchwork of different vendors, it's incredibly fragile. Pragya builds a reliable foundation so your IT and operations teams can actually focus on growth, instead of constantly running around putting out fires.
Let's move to and see how this builds into their overall methodology. It's a very structured 3-step journey. Step 1 is procurement and sourcing, making sure you get the right gear at the right price. Step 2 is design and deployment, ensuring it all connects flawlessly. But Step 3, that is where the real magic happens. Long-term support. They don't just plug in a router, hand you a manual, and walk away. They stick around long after go-live to ensure everything continues to operate at a truly enterprise-grade level.
Moving to Section 3. Building the physical backbone. Real use cases, real business outcomes.
Let's ground this in reality, moving straight from the problem to the value delivered. Here's our first use case. End-to-end IT hardware and networking supply. Imagine a mid-sized company expanding and opening a brand new branch. They need laptops, desktops, switches, a complete internal local area network setup, the works. The problem is the massive time waste in getting mismatched specs. Pragya steps in, handles the bulk pricing negotiation, coordinates the delivery, and executes the physical cabling, all under one contract. The value delivered? You get a single point of contact and standardized assets that make your lifecycle management an absolute breeze.
Next up, video conferencing room design. We have all experienced the sheer frustration of a poorly designed Zoom or Teams room, right? You can't hear the speaker, the camera angle is looking at the ceiling, or the devices just straight up refuse to connect. That creates a terrible user experience and just floods your help desk with IT support tickets. Pragya tackles this head-on by designing the room acoustics, optimizing camera and screen placement, and fully configuring the integration. The result is a consistent, professional meeting experience and a dramatic reduction in those annoying IT tickets.
And the third physical use case is critical: server room design, supply, and setup.
Improperly designed server rooms, they're basically a ticking time bomb. They lead to overheating, power failures, and massive security gaps. Pragya brings real engineering excellence to the table here. They design the layout, ensure proper cooling and power redundancy, and handle the rack planning for local compute or hybrid cloud setups. The value delivered is reliable uptime, true scalability, and immediate audit readiness. Basically, no more sweaty palms when the lights flicker.
Section 4. Scaling Strategy and Security, Consulting, DevOps, and InfoSec.
But look, modern IT isn't just about physical boxes in a server room. As mid-market businesses grow, they desperately need specialized strategy. A massive problem is overspending due to a lack of expertise, or maybe struggling to roll out a complex ERP system. By offering IT consultation, Pragya provides roadmap planning and vendor risk evaluations, which results in a right-sized IT spend. Furthermore, when companies face hiring delays and limited access to skilled tech talent, Pragya's staffing solutions step in to provide candidate sourcing and hybrid hiring. This allows for much faster, flexible workforce scaling.
Then there's DevOps consulting. If an organization is moving to the cloud but still relying on manual deployment processes, they're going to suffer from slow releases and inconsistent environments. Pragya helps businesses accelerate by automating infrastructure on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform while utilizing container technologies like Docker and Kubernetes. This essentially transforms a clunky, outdated pipeline into a well-oiled machine, boasting much better developer productivity and significantly faster software releases. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer depth of their information security capabilities. Security breaches and compliance failures are quite literally existential threats today. Pragya offers Security Operations Center, or SOC, as a service for continuous monitoring. They provide audit support for incredibly rigorous frameworks. We're talking ISO 27001, SOC 2 Type 2, and EU GDPR. By handling vulnerability assessments and third-party risk management, they drastically reduce your business risk and provide true verifiable audit readiness.
And that brings us to Section 5, the Pragya Advantage, built for teams who can't afford downtime.
To summarize exactly why mid-market IT managers trust Pragya, we can look at the 3 core pillars that create this rock-solid foundation. First is their vetted supply chain, meaning they only source the most reliable hardware available. Second is design-led networking, building connectivity that's intentionally engineered for your specific space. And third, as we've highlighted, is support that actually sticks around. These 3 equal parts create an unbreakable, enterprise-grade IT backbone.
So, the crucial point is this. Pragya IT Consultancy Solutions is trusted because they truly embody professionalism and engineering excellence. They don't just sell you a bunch of equipment, they partner with mid-market companies to source it right, install it right, and support it long after go-live. It's all about creating those long-term partnerships built entirely on reliable infrastructure.
I want to leave you with this fantastic, provocative thought directly from their platform. Tell us what you're running today. Ready to see what it should look like? It really begs the question, doesn't it? If you're still dealing with vendor chaos, mismatched hardware, and constant IT headaches, why settle for a fragile foundation? Thank you so much for joining me today to explore how procurement truly meets precision. Keep learning, keep analyzing your own systems, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.